Welcome back, Truth Seeker. Monday, December 17th, 2018. Just got done with the daily podcast. There were two stories that have emerged that I did not cover, so I just wanted to take the time to do that now. And one was the death of a family. Reportedly yesterday, Sunday, a family was found dead in Florida. The story is a 44-year-old member of the Coast Guard shot and killed his wife, himself, his son, and shot and injured his daughter, who's in critical condition. And for many years, I noticed these patterns in media, stories in the same repetitive numbers again and again. And one of those numbers was 44. See it all the time around death and killing. And lo and behold, there's this language of letters and numbers, which I've been teaching about ever since I learned about it, which was 5 years ago now, called Gematria, the practice of coding numbers into words. And in Gematria, officer equals 44, so does shooting, so does gunfire, so does kill. For the record, military's 44, infantry's 44, soldiers 44. What is military? It's essentially a killing force. That's why military messes so many people up. We as people, we have all these different emotions and behaviors that we're capable of, but it's obvious that, for us to be healthy and sane and feeling right inside, we're not supposed to be murder machines, which is what the military turns a lot of men into. That's why you see so many homeless men on the street. Their families have abandoned them. Everyone's abandoned them. They have mental wounds from having served in the military. And the Coast Guard's pretty much become the military. It's not really that much different anymore. Probably still the best branch to join. But anyway, this number 44 just shows up again and again and again in death and killing. Talking about this for 5 years straight, wrote a book about this. This book right here, it has a chapter that's over 100 pages long on reported shootings in the media and how 44 is front and center nearly every single time. And this has been going on for decades, for longer than any of us have been around. So anyway, 44-year-old, his name's John Pressner. And what makes it all the more interesting is his name in Gematria, Pressner, has a value of 37 and 44. Shooting is 44 and 37. So his name has the numbers for a shooting. Coast Guard also has that Gematria 37. They put his address in the story. That's kind of curious. Normally they don't go into that specific a detail. They don't often put out the address. The killings took place at the family's suburban home at 1144 1 Southwest 242nd Lane on the southern edge of Miami. When the subject started shooting, his wife told her mother to run out of the house and call for help, stated in a news release issued just after 1 p.m. Sunday by the Miami-Dade Police Department. The police, oftentimes these shootings that make international news, national news, police-related shootings, 44 all over. Again, officers 44, like we just talked about. Go back and look at that synagogue shooting. See how many federal charges that guy got? 44. Very suspicious story. So anyhow, this happened yesterday, reportedly. Sunday, December 16th, 18, date with 46 numerology. The word sacrifice is 46. 46. For the record, the word sacrifice also has Gematria 62, like Coast Guard. And it was also a date with 66 numerology. Family equals 66. The story's about man killing his family. And, I know that there is an organic side to this code. It does seem that somehow this number 444, it carries this vibration of death and killing. In the Far East, they believe that 4 is, a number to stay away from. It symbolizes death. It brings about death. Definitely seen some organic deaths in recent years involving this number. Again, Hermeticism, it says that everything carries a vibration. Every number has a vibration. Every letter has a vibration. Every color in these vibrations, they influence our behavior. So is it possible that a story like this is really of a 44-year-old man turning on his family and murdering them? Or is it possible that this man was a whistleblower of some sort and he's been murdered ritualistically by the code? Because this is also going on. That song Murder by Numbers, killing people's as simple as A, B, C, 1, 2, 3. Just got to know what the words mean. Got to know what their numerical value is. It's hard to say. Could be one or the other. But still, just pay attention. You'll notice news media. Same numbers, same types of tragedies again and again and again. Also, at the end of my last live stream, this popped up in the corner, breaking news, the death of this man. I did it in real time. I imagine a lot of people won't watch that far into the video. Most people will watch a YouTube video for 5 or 10 minutes. I covered it at around the hour and 30-minute mark. But I did decode this in real time, and it just took moments to decode. The first thing that came out of my mouth when this news broke is I said, today has 67 date numerology. This news is breaking day. That's the blood sacrifice number. And lo and behold, his name, William Hathaway, equals 67. Familiar pattern. Again and again, suspicious deaths in connection to this number. So the news breaks today. The date was 67 numerology. William Hathaway, 67. You read the story. He died Saturday in a car crash. That was a date with a life lesson number of 38. Murder, death, killing, RIP, all 38. That movie poster for Murder by Numbers, the E changed to a 3, the B changed to an 8. Song Murder by Numbers came out in 83. In the headlines, they call him Will Billy, which has that Gematria 44 like kill. And what's most important about covering this again is just what's reported here in the story. I just got to read this. William Will Billy Hathaway, a featured cast member on Wicked Tuna, Outer Banks, died following a car crash over the weekend. He was 36. Come back to that. According to local reports, Hathaway was involved in a car accident in Salisbury, Maryland on Saturday. Local news station WBOC 16 reports that Maryland State Police were notified after Hathaway's truck swerved off a remote road and into a ditch. Hathaway, a native of Berlin, Maryland, allegedly called his wife after the accident. Notice how the media says that a lot. Allegedly. That was in the last story too. Allegedly, the woman told her mother to run out of the house. Allegedly. Can't they get the story straight? Why's it got to be allegedly? Why can't it just be, this is what happened? This is what was reported by this person. Again, most of the stuff reported in the media is just nonsense. But again, Hathaway, a native of Berlin, Maryland, allegedly called his wife after the accident to tell her that he had been cut off on the road but was okay. By the time paramedics arrived, however, Hathaway was allegedly unconscious and slumped over the center console. He was reportedly transported to a nearby hospital where he was pronounced dead. Now, if you watch the live stream that I was just doing when this news broke, I was calling news agencies in New York, telling them about how people are being ritualistically murdered and they're being reported as false causes of death, oftentimes car crashes, plane crashes. It's exactly what I was just calling people about in the live stream. And then while I'm doing this live stream, this news breaks. This stuff happens all the time if you follow my work. That's the reason you want to understand this knowledge, because this stuff's happening all the time. And you'll recognize the very repetitive patterns and what's encoded in these stories if you just learn the code. So Wicked Tuna has this Gematria value of 666. The way you get this value is you take the alphabetic order and you multiply by 6. This is one of the first ciphers I learned when I started doing this work 5 years ago. I learned the alphabetic order with the rules of numerology. I learned Jewish Gematria, and I learned this cipher right here where you multiply the alphabetic order times 6. So W is the 23rd letter. 23 times 6 is 138. I is the 9th letter. 6 times 9 is 54. You see that? C is the 3rd letter. 3 times 6 is 18. K is the 11th. 11 times 6, 66. So you just take the alphabetic order and multiply by 6. Wicked Tuna is 666. That relates to 36 because 666 is the 36th triangular number, meaning if you add 1 through 36 together, it equals 666. Plus, just think about 36. 3, 6, 3 sixes. His show name Wicked Tuna has this Gematria 39 like Hathaway. Maybe coincidental. His hometown, Berlin, has the Gematria 39. But this story doesn't make any sense. Calls his wife. He's fine. Got in a car crash. Paramedics show up. He's dead. I've theorized before. Are people getting run off the road and murdered in rituals? You know? So as a car swerved in front of him, he crashed off the road. He calls his wife. He's okay. First responders get there. He's dead. Doesn't make any sense. Got to look at what's out there in this world in terms of technology. Somebody's called in my radio show the other day, had me look up the CIA testimony from decades ago about the heart attack weapon. There's a gun that can target your body, your heart, your organ, and make it stop. Some sort of pulse. You know, guy cut him off in a car. He has the heart attack gun. I don't know. Rolls up on him with the heart attack gun. Nope, sorry. Sorry, Mr. Will Billy. So, again, this code's so relevant. You learn it. By the next day, you're already seeing the world with new eyes and what's going on. It's just like the movie They Live. Never seen that film, They Live. Somebody out there is going, who is they? Somebody's new here. If you read my book, I'd say who they is. There's a whole chapter on it. But they have this Gematria 58. Now, let me get rid of the reverse ciphers for a second. Alphabetic order with rules of numerology. 2 ciphers, you know, you'd probably learn enough. Freemasonry. Whoops, that's spelled right. Freemasonry is 58. Secret Society is 58. If you know anything about Freemasonry, all their secrets are in Solomon's Temple, 58. Supposedly that was the treasure in Solomon's Temple. This code, this knowledge, you know, the Holy Grail. Put out the Holy Grail here every day for free. People are getting murdered in this world over this code. But Freemasons, you know, if you want to become a Master Mason, get your first 3 degrees, you got to do a tracing board for each degree. Tracing board 58. Freemasonry came out of the Rosicrucian order. King James, the Freemason, the Rosicrucian, he dropped dead at age 58. Think it was a coincidence? It wasn't. There's a whole lot more. If you read my book, you'll learn the long, long list of 58 and who they are and why these numbers matter. I guess I can tell you that real quick. Tetragrammaton, that's the 4-letter name of God. This whole code's in tribute to God. It comes from Kabbalah. Read the book. You'll learn the rest. But book, it's linked on my blog. You do a web search for Free to Find Truth. You'll find my blog. Keep up with all the news there. Link to get the book right on the top of the blog. Go to Etsy and just type in letters and numbers. Some people say I need to name the book differently, then more people will buy it. Some people think the title's too boring, but I think the title's just right there. Letters and numbers. That's what this whole thing is. You know? I'll write another book someday with a catchier title. But anyway. $5. The book's about 800 pages, just under 800 pages. You just got to read the first 5 pages to get your money's worth. And you'll see everything written in that book, it just proves itself more and more true each day. All right, Truth Seeker, I'm going to go on a walk. Going to get some exercise. I haven't been doing that enough. Go spend some time with my sweet lady. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day. If you're on the Patreon, I'll be back tonight. Got to do the NFL in review. In case you're new here, if you didn't know all sports games are scripted by this code, well, now you do. Check it out. I've been proving it for years. Until next time.